Hello, my name is Ilona, and in this video I want to do a recap of my Dutch video. In the Dutch video it's really about politics that is going on now in the Netherlands. So if you'd like to see it, well, thank you very much for watching. And if you don't, you're like, well, I'm not that interested. I fully understand, but I'm going to do this recap anyway. And this is about the Minister of Nature and Nitrogen. That should tell you something. We have a Minister of Nature and Nitrogen. I wonder who got that one there, that position. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the dark energies agenda about climate and all those things. Well, her name is Van der Wal, Minister Van der Wal, and she came out with a policy about nitrogen. And she wants to make sure that, well, pretty much get rid of farmers by expropriating their lands based on nitrogen levels. It's really insane. And I think that's the point, that this is completely insane. Because if we compare it to other countries around the Netherlands, they don't have those same policies. So we're pretty much the only country here with these policies concerning nitrogen. Apparently this is a horrible thing, and we need to, well, just things that they're saying about the climate, now they're saying about nitrogen. So the farmers are now going to take this. They are going to take a stand on the 22nd of June. They will be going to The Hague, and they will be using, most of them, their tractors. So they already put out a warning: if you want to go to work, take public, the public transport, or stay at home, because the highways are going to be clogged up. There'll be traffic jams and things like that. They've done this before, and they've pretty much just ended the Netherlands on the road. Everything was clogged up, and I'm very, very happy that they're taking a stand, because this is very important. These policies are insane. So the first card reading I did is Minister Van der Wal belongs to the VVD. That's a political party. Mark Rutte, our Prime Minister, also belongs to this party. Well, this party had a congress, and they put in a motion against this policy. So these are her own members, her own party, and they actually voted against the policy. They thought their reasons were that, first of all, the how they measure things aren't correct, and second of all, sacrificing our farmers, which is a very good point. So I thought, that's interesting. Why would this party suddenly take a stand against their own, in a way, the person that comes from their party? It's very strange. So I got a card reading on that, and the first card was the Fool. The second card, the central card, is the Seven of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups in the past. We have the Nine of Cups underneath the Seven of Wands. That's the central card. And for the future, we have the Nine of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. I'm kind of sensing that a lot of members are not that happy anymore with the policies. We have to understand that this is a humongous party. So not everyone in that party is part of the dark agenda. Only the people in key positions have been taking over. And of course in our government, like Prime Minister and of course Minister Van der Wal. So they're fighting back. They're like, yeah, we don't accept this anymore. So I see this as an opportunity also for people waking up there in their party itself, realizing that they are not there for the best interest. They are not there having the best interest at heart for farmers or for businesses or for the Netherlands in general. And it's very important that people starting to see that. So there's a new energy coming in. So I'm kind of seeing this as a separation. People are also kind of waking up in the party themselves. So they're not going to stand for the status quo anymore. I think more and more is going to come out. I also see this Nine of Swords. So I think more and more policies will come out which are ridiculous. Let's face it, this is completely ridiculous. And I'm thinking that that's to wake up people. This is really the wake up card, to be very honest. and a lot of people in that party. And I think this will be an opportunity for more and more people to stand up in the party themselves, that they are not accepting this anymore and are not going to tolerate it anymore. I think this is about waking up the party members, which is very, very important, because most of them just follow the party thinking that they are really there for their best interest, when really they are not. The second card reading was, of course, on the policy itself. This card fell out. That's the King of Pentacles, and I was talking about that the farmers were taking a stand, going to The Hague to make their, make themselves known that they are not going to stand for this. We're talking about generations. Some people have generations of their how do you say this? Oh, I just got the Dutch word, bedrijf, their company. So this company is in their family for generations, and she just wants to take that away. She just wants to take the land away. And this is really about that dark agenda to take over the food. So they have all the food productions. So really we'll just be eating chemical crap, so to speak, or maybe even insects or something they just want us to eat. So they just want to get rid of the farmers. They want to get rid of a way that we can actually grow our own foods in a way, because a lot of people here in the Netherlands actually go to the farmers themselves and buy things from the farmers. That's actually quite normal here. And so they just want to get rid of that. They really want the independence taken away from the people to decide what they're going to eat. So that's really what this is about. I do not get the feeling that it will get that far, but these puppets are programmed. They're just following their agenda. So we're kind of stuck with them until everything is kind of falling apart. But we have to take a stand. We have to do something about that as well and not accept it. Because if we don't accept it, it's not going to happen. That's really how it works. They need our cooperation, they need our compliance to make it work. So that's interesting. The first card is the Lovers, that's the card above. Then we have the central card, which is the Sun, which is a very beautiful card as a central card. In the past we have the Ace of Cups. Underneath the Sun we have the Nine of Pentacles. And for the future we have the Three of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about the policy itself, and to me this is again waking up people, realizing our own strength and power and being independent and making our own choices. This is really about waking up the farmers, waking up other people, because this is about everyone here basically in the Netherlands if they're taking away our food. And I'm sure this, if you just look at it globally, this is happening worldwide. It's about choosing from our heart what we want, how we want our foods, and taking a stand. So I do believe that this is actually working against the dark agenda, because it's so ridiculous. And if you really, like I've said before, if I'm not mistaken, or I've already said it in the Dutch video, the countries around us do not have the same nitrogen policies. So it's so ridiculous that we have that. It's not based on anything. It's just insane if you think about it. And that's probably exactly the point, to make it look insane. So members of the own party are going to doubt what's going on. And of course, people are waking up. You also have to realize that this, of course, could be a manipulation trick from the dark side to make it as insane as possible, and hoping that people will try to, if they say, well, these things are going to happen, and then people are like, no, we don't want this, that they hope that we'll meet them on the middle ground, which is a very used technique, especially in politics. So they still get part of their plan done, and then later on they'll try to do the other part. So they're kind of splitting it up. So it's very important that we say completely no to this. This is just nonsense. It's not based on anything. It's an old technique. Just scream, something very, very extreme, and then people are going to be against it. And then you come together and you find a middle ground. But in the meantime, by finding a middle ground, and by making the people feel that they have actually accomplished something, you still have some part of your plan already done by doing that. It's exactly what happened with the measurements of course, with everything that's been going on for the past 2 years, they would say something outrageous and then people would get angry, and then somewhere halfway some regulations would come out, which still is insane. Those regulations shouldn't have come out to begin with. So it's very manipulative. But I do believe that this, because it's so insane, not only to wake up people, but to truly take a stand. So that's what I got from my card reading. The last card reading, again, is very political. We have a lot of parties in the Netherlands in the politics. We do not have like a two-party system like in the USA. So we have a party called GroenLinks, that is green left, literally if you translate it, and Partij van de Arbeid, which is the party of the labor, like the working party, so to speak. It was more of a socialist background, of course. Green left, the name kind of implies where it stands for. And they now want to join together for the next, voting for the first chamber, so to speak, the Eerste Kamer, so the Senate in the Netherlands. And so they want to join forces, which is very interesting. I was like, what is that about? Well, the first card I got was the Ace of Pentacles. The central card is the High Priestess. The card in the past is the Five of Cups. Underneath was very interesting. I got 3 cards. I've got Balance, I have the Nine of Cups and the King of Cups. They are all influences on what's going on. And for the future, I had the Queen of Wands and the King of Swords. So to me, this feels like there's a lot of secrecy going on. I think this had to do with the Partij van de Arbeid, so the labor or the working party, so to speak, lost a lot of people. They really kind of dropped behind. So, and I'm not sure how the green left, GroenLinks, is doing in, they keeping up all these. If there would be right now voting, how well they would do. But I have a feeling this is about a loss. And there's been a lot lost, so they want to, get together, hoping that will strengthen their cause. But the interesting part is, of course, that in the future, the White Hat's influences and the King of Swords. So to me, this is the beginning. So to them, it's like they want to see this as a new beginning to strengthening their position. To me, this is like the new beginning for a new way of looking at politics. To me, everything is going to fall apart. All these political parties. I think we will have a system where we will be voting for certain policies, and then people will have to come in and follow that policy. And if they don't do that, then we will get rid of that person and someone else will come in that will follow that policy. So it's not about political parties anymore. So it's interesting that they are getting together for this, for the Senate. And I think that this is like not in their minds, it's probably to hopefully strengthen their position. And to me, it feels like a White Hat influence that this is actually the start of the system falling. All these political parties with all these agendas, really, we don't want it anymore. They have all these promises, so you're voting for a certain person in a certain party, or maybe you're just voting for your party, and they end up doing completely different things. That's what's been going on, because obviously the dark has been taking over this entire system. They pretty much designed this system to make it seem like we have something to say, but in reality, we don't have anything to say. So this is changing, so I find this very interesting. This is about balancing, finding a new status quo and a new way of dealing with things. So that's the feeling I'm getting with what's happening now. I just found this very interesting. Personally, I'm keeping a bit distance from all these political things. To me, these are just puppets and they are just rolling out their agendas. And if something interesting pops up, like with the nitrogenpolicy or this happening, then of course I will take a look at it. But most of the time I just let it be, because really it's falling apart and we're just watching it fall apart. I'd like to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!